Welcome to John's Gaming and Tech. I'm back. I've been out for a couple months doing home renovations. So that's why we're sitting outside in this beautiful day, a little sweater weather. I'm okay with that. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody that's been watching the videos while I've been out. A lot of you have mentioned that you're going to be getting your first Virpil throttle and first Virpil hoe task and joystick and whatnot. So today we are doing I've taken mine all apart here, and we are going to do a quick start guide for everyone that wants to just get in and get flying and get the show on the road. So let me get the camera moved and we'll get started. Just a second. All right, we're back. So let's get started here. We're going to start with the war base. There's going to be timestamps over here or over here to skip ahead to where you want to be. We're going to do the war base joystick, the F14 joystick first, and then we're going to move on to the throttle. So first thing you're going to want to do is put your base plate on. Now this is going to come with, I don't have them sitting out here. So your base is going to come with some springs, some heavy springs, light springs. You can see inside here, give you all a good view in there. And you can adjust your cams and your springs. It's hard to see way up in there. See if I can get way up in there. Focus camera. So you can kind of see in there your springs and cams and whatnot. And that's where you could take these 4 screws off the top. Be mindful, you're going to want to take your USB out and run it through gently. So for now, this is a quick start guide. We're not going to change cams. We're not going to change springs. I recommend putting it together and kind of seeing what your feel is. You bought a adjustable base, you bought adjustable throttle, adjust it, make sure you have it set the way you like. So you can see on mine, I've drilled holes in it. Yours won't have these holes. This was a temporary mounting solution for my sim pit, and since then I actually don't use the base plate at all. But what you're gonna want to do is you have the 4 screws here. So let me get those all out real quick here. These are stainless steel screws, and they are going into aluminum. So I highly recommend a little bit of anti-seize on them. It'll help them from stripping out. I haven't had any problems. I've had this apart a few times. I put a little anti-seize on them and they've been fine. Base plate goes on. You're gonna line up your 4 holes here. Once again, mine's a little scratched up because it gets used. So if you can see in there, you can see where it's just lined up your holes there. Hand start all your screws. Make sure they all go in nice and easy. You don't want anything to cross thread or anything like that. If you feel like it's not going in well, take it out, start again. I believe it's a 2.5 millimeter Allen head. I can't remember if it comes with that or not. If it does not, you will need a 2.5. They're doing everything in real time here. No fast forwarding, no editing, just barely snug them. These do not need to be very tight at all. I highly recommend not over tightening these. Once again, it is aluminum, stainless steel bolts. They will gall up, they will strip out or seize up in there. That's why I put a little bit of anti-seize on them. And That one there. And this one here. I'm going to give them just all a little twist. So again, you can see how little I actually tighten these. They do not need to be super tight. And there's your base plate. Ready to go. Okay, and now we will install our grip. This grip here is the F14 Virpil grip. I've done reviews on all this stuff. I'm going to do some more because I've been gaming a lot longer with this stuff. It's all great stuff. Great quality items. So you can see here on the top of there we go. And then we got to line up, if it'll focus here. See if it'll follow my finger. Focus, man. Need the camera. There we go. So we have to line those up. You can give this just a little pull, kind of pull it out just a little bit. You don't want to get pulled too hard on it. And if you look in here, you'll see that little silver tab on the top. You want that to line up with this little bump in here. See if you guys can see in there. So we'll just ever so gently plug it in. And then tighten it down. Oh, if I'd learn how to line it up. There you go. You want to make sure that the front trigger is in line with the USB, and that's together. This you do not have to over tighten. You can see I just barely tightened down with 2 fingers, and that's plenty tight. It's not going to move. Oh, I take it back a little tighter. There we go. So just tighten it to where it stops moving around. I run with the heavy springs, and I believe it's the stock. I think it's the cams that came in it, just the heavy springs. And your throttle is ready to go. So we'll set that aside. The throttle, your joystick is ready to go. The throttle's even easier. Your throttle, get out of the box. Come in a box just like this. See here, we got the flap, opens up. Kind of looks like that inside. Just going to pull this cardboard out. And there'll be the cord. And your throttle comes out. And that's it. So with the throttle, my leg's a little loose. Nope, tight. USB. So you have a USB and an auxiliary. Zoom in on that there real quick. Get her to focus. There you go. So you have the USB and the auxiliary. You want to hook the USB side up to your computer. The auxiliary is for like the switch panels and the switch panels. If you have the base, not the Warbird, but the VPC base, that also has it also, so you can daisy chain them together and only have one USB cord going to your computer. So you can see here, we just have this in here. This plugs into here. And you're done. To take it out, you just pull back on this sleeve right here and it comes right out. That's it. That is all that's involved with the physical setup. So now, a lot of people just take and they think, okay, I'm ready to go. They plug it in their computer and away you run. Well, you're going to be in for a shock because you do have to calibrate these. They do not come pre-calibrated. And it's real simple. Let me head inside, get these USB plugs set up, and we will go through the setup process. All right, welcome back. So now we're set back up in the house. If you think you're just gonna plug that guy in and start gaming, you're wrong. We have to calibrate this, get it set up. We're gonna start with a joystick and then we'll do the throttle. So we'll start by opening your web browser of your choice. And we'll go Virpil. And here it is, virpilcontrols.eu. We're going to go to downloads. Let's do the latest release and VPC software. You'll see down here at the bottom, it is downloading. And still downloading. While we're waiting for this to download, if this video helps you out in any way, why don't you guys throw a like on there and subscribe. It helps me out, helps get the word out on these videos so they can help other people that are looking for the same information. Okay. And we will close this. Go into your downloads. You can see here, I've downloaded it a few times. So we'll just, let's just get rid of these two here. Right click, extract all. You can show extracted when complete, extract. And then double click. And you'll click yes. If you are having issues with the VPC software suite not setting up, or you're going in, it's a little bit buggy, uninstall it and right click on it and click Run as Administrator. This takes Windows Defender out and it also goes around the firewall. Only do this if you have to. This is a trustworthy software, but you shouldn't have any problems running it normal. And click yes. I'm going to leave it on the C drive, program files. That's fine for me. You guys can browse and put it where you want to. I use the shift tool. We'll get into that on later videos. And you want Pro mode. And click next, install. And we'll uncheck this. So if you see over here, this is the VPC suite. It did the configuration tool, the tester, and the shift tool. So right now we're going to go into the configuration tool. And give it a second to load here. You can see all the stuff that I have plugged in. I've got my lighting for my PC, my gaming mouse, my keyboard, and I'm not sure what that is. Something else plugged in too. So now we can take and plug in our joystick. Anytime you're doing any software updates or firmware updates, adjusting buttons or anything, make sure to only plug one device in at a time. If you plug in more than one, it could create problems for you. So let's go ahead and plug that in. And we'll give it a second to pick it up. You can see it just popped up right here. Okay, so when you get your new device, you're not going to see access button or LED. You're just going to see firmware and profile. So we're going to go to firmware and you want to do start auto firmware update. Now, when you do this, it's going to do 5 steps. It might kick up here and say not responding. Just leave it. Don't unplug it. Don't shut your computer down. Just let it do its thing. So we'll click OK and we wait. Guys want to follow me on Twitter so you can see upcoming videos and pictures of my projects and my home and all of that fun stuff. Link in the description below to my Twitter account. I will be setting up streaming for on Twitch, and also join the Discord. Link in the description below for that also. Joining the Discord, we want to get a nice community built up so that we could all help each other and game together and have fun. Okay, so now we have the firmware is all updated. You can see that update finished, profile restored. So now you'll have to, same thing, you will not see these on your new device. So we're going to click on profile, and you can see on here it automatically pulled up our base and our joystick. If you click on this, you can see the different bases, and over here, same thing, different. This is all of the different joysticks that they have. So this is the VFX 14. We don't have a panel. We're going to do device is right. If you're using rudder pedals and you want to lock it out, if you look right here, you can see that little screw. You can tighten that down and it locks out the twist on your joystick. So if you want to do that, you can lock that out and click this on here and it locks out the twist. Okay, so we are going to create new profile. And just be patient. It takes a minute. You see where it says NA up here? That's because it's still working. It's still thinking about it. Okay, now we come up to axis and you can see our values are way off. These should be 50. This one should be 100, or this one should be 150. And then the Z-axis is way off. So everything is just way off. This is the problem you're going to run into if you just try plugging it in and gaming with it, is you're going to find you're not flying straight, and it's just a nightmare. So we're just going to come down here to calibrate. See everything jumping around, and we'll start by turn this guy so we're going to go forward with it and back and forward and back. Make sure you're going all the way over, all the way forward and back. We'll go right and left and right and left. And then we'll do our twist. And you can see on the screen how it changes. And then we have our slider here. So we're going to go all the way in, back out, in, and back out. And then we also have our little slider dial up here. So you want to make sure you go around whatever joystick you're using and slide all of the sliders forward and back, and then back to their neutral position. So we can see here everything is pretty well centered now. This is our thumb. We're good there. So we're going to go save calibration. Hint, blah, blah, blah. That's funny. I've never seen that before. I wonder if Virpil knows about that. If you guys are watching this, anyone from Virpil, that's funny. Okay, now you can see all of our values are set. If we push in on our brake, goes up. Our slider 100, 0, 100, back to 50. So you are good to go. We're going to save this one more time. And we wait. And we wait. It'll load again. And you're done. I have videos on buttons. Check out my other videos. I have button videos and buttons on some LEDs. Looks like we have some other LED. I'm gonna have to do an updated LED. We have some more options here. But that's it. So you can close this down now, and your joystick should work fine. Nice thing about doing it this way is Now this is a plug and play device. So if I decide, hey, I'm going, and I do this a lot actually, if I'm going over to my brother's house, I can now just grab my joystick, go, plug it into his computer and game. Once you set it up, it's a plug and play device. So that is it for the joystick. So now I will get the throttle set up and be right back. All right, now we have the throttle. Let's go ahead and get our cord plugged in. Remember to plug it into the USB. All right, so the throttle, we have to do the same thing. If you plug this in and try gaming with it, it will not work. We have to go into the configuration tool and set it up. Just a reminder, this is a quick start guide. If you guys want more in-depth videos, I have those on my channel also on how to set up virtual afterburner and buttons and stuff. And I will be going in and doing some new videos. Those ones are a little old and things have changed a bit. So now we can plug this guy in. Remember, only plug in one device at a time. You do not want to plug in more than one device because it can mess it up when you try to update firmware or anything like that. So we will plug that in, give it a second to load. Here it is here. So you can see the ready. And once again, if this is a new device, you will not see access button or LED. It will look something like this here. Well, you won't even see access. It'll just say firmware and profile. So we're going to go firmware, start auto firmware update. Okay. During the auto firmware update, just a reminder, it may come up here. It may say, you can see it click not applicable. It might go into not responding on the configuration tool. Just let it go. Don't close anything. It will work itself through it. Okay, and here we go. So close bootlegger mode, set bootlegger device, everything's good. Profile restored. Now you will have a profile pop up. We don't have any panels. I choose the 5-way modifier. I like having the modifier, and over here you can see this is all the other. This is the rudders, the mongoose. So this is the mongoose T50 CM2. And I am using my 5-way modifier. I know my switch is white on mine. I got one of the pre-black switches, so that is normal. It is on the left side. There is no twist or anything on this one. So we just click create new profile. It's going to write to it. And once again, wait for it to come up to say ready and everything to be uploaded. So you can see every ready and it's reading. Okay, so now we go up to axis and same thing. You can see with this all the way back, it goes to 18%, all the way forward. It only goes to 40%. Okay, this has changed from the setup I had as far as the detents go. So my virtual detents video I will be updating because this has all changed and I don't want, if you see this, there will be confusion. So I will get that video done as soon as possible. This is a double axis function. Cool. Anyway, so what we're going to do is calibrate. You can see everything jumping around. you will unlock your controls. There's a lever right here. You push that over and down, over and down, and that will unlock them. You can see they're unlocked now. So you got to do these one at a time. We're going to go all the way back, all the way forward, all the way back. Leave it in the 0 position when you're done. All the way back, forward, and back. We'll do the same thing with the flaps. Okay, and now we have slider up here. I'm going to go all the way down, up, down, up. Make that needs to be back in the 50%. And then right here we have your, oh, it's trying to focus. Here, up, down, up, down, right, left, right, left. Okay, and now we will hit save calibration. Okay, and now we can see our throttles go 100 and back down to 0. So everything looks good. We got a 49% here. There it is. So 50, 51, so that's good there. Okay, everything looks good. So now we can close this. And you're done. We're now ready to do some bindings. So let's load up some of our favorite games here. I'm going to start with DCS. And I'll show you guys just really fast how to do some joystick bindings. For that, we will just be using the throttle. It's the same on the joystick as well. So pretty simple. So once this loads, I will be right back. Okay, here we are sitting in the A-10C2. This is actually a really nice aircraft. So what you're going to do is push escape. We're going to go adjust controls. You can see over here, this is where I was telling you, make sure you have the correct plane chosen, because if you don't, then you'll set up all your settings and you'll be really mad at yourself. So just real quick, I'm going to show you just a couple access commands. So if you go to access commands, you can see right here on the left throttle, it has set a few things up. Obviously, we don't want to pitch and roll and all that. I like to start fresh. So I choose the whole thing, clear category, yes. And that just cleared everything out. And so you can set it up yourself. So let's start with wheel brake. I'm going to come over here, click wheel brake, add. I'm just going to, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do wheel brake on this one. So let's do our throttles. So we're going to go left throttle first, add. We're going to take our left one, just roll it up and back down. You can see we're good there. Okay. Right throttle, add, slide it up, back down. Okay. And for your throttles, you're going to want to come into your tune, make sure they're set on slider. And for me, I have to invert. You guys may have to invert, may not. Your guys's might work properly. If you find when you're throttling up, it's actually throttling down in the aircraft, you'll want to click the invert button. Okay. Then we'll go here, access tune. We're going to slider, invert. Okay. And then we will go to zoom view, add. For me, I use this center slider here for my zoom. So you just roll that up and down. Okay. And your HOTAS slew, horizontal. So you'll go left and right, your horizon, and then vertical, add, up and down. So in all of these settings, this is just a quick get you going, but just real fast in all these settings, you can go into your axis tune and really tune it to the way you want it. So if you find you're trying to slew around in your targeting pod, and you can slow it down in here and stuff. We'll save that for a different video. So that is your axis. Now let's go to just let's say, well, we'll go search. We'll do my rearm. So here's rearm refueling. I'm going to go add, highlight first, add, and I use this button right here for that. Joy button 38. Okay, and let's just go all, I'm just choosing some just to show you guys how to do it. Let's go, just trying to find one. You can see all the different settings you can do. There's a lot. So we can do so let's do that. Left engine. Okay, landing taxi lights off. So you can set that up. Let's say we want that on this bottom switch, button 45. Okay, on, add, top switch. Okay. And that is how you bind in DCS. So you go through, you have a lot of choices to do. Your mode selector, you can see B1. I will show you just real quick how the mode selector works. So we'll just do CDU power. So you can see if we add it, we'll say B2, it's joy button 39. Okay, and I'm gonna click cancel. And if you go to mode 2 and you add it, it's joy button 57. So this mode selector actually changes these to other buttons. So it gives you 6 times 5, so 30 different buttons just right here. So go in, bind them the way you want, and that's how you do DCS. Now I will pull up Flight Simulator and show you how to do it in Flight Simulator 2020. Okay, here we are in Flight Simulator 2020. I went ahead and brought the joystick back in to show you guys just how to bind a few. We're going to go Options, Controls. You can see over here our 2 joysticks came up. You have the warbird and our throttle. You can see our airspeed hold is set on there. That's kind of neat. Okay, so what we're going to do is we can go to Filter. You can search by name, search by input. You can select an input. So what we're going to do is search by name, and let's go. Let's look at the axes here. So we have. Actually, that's fine. So we have camera slew mode. This is to slew your camera. So let's go here. Let's go select start scanning, I'm sorry. And we'll say we want this guy to look around here. Validate. And then I'm going to go Y-axis. We're going to go start scanning, up and down, and validate. So now we have the looking around. You can see our looking around. That would be us looking around. So then we can go drone camera. You can do the same with all of these. So let's do brakes. I want my brake on my brake lever here. So I'm start scanning, squeeze. Oh, my bad. So now, sorry, you have to come over here and we can search this again. And we'll go back down to the brake, left brake. So we can go here and start scanning, squeeze there, and validate. Okay. And then if we want, I haven't tried this yet, but let's try it. Sorry, bind it anyway. Okay, so validate. So now you can have this set up for both of your brakes. Now you can see here when you squeeze it, it's dropping down to 0. So let's reverse these. There we go. So that it is 0 when you let off and you squeeze. So let's look at, let's look at our flaps here. So we're going to come back over here. I'm going to go type in axis again. Let's go back down to flaps. Oh, negative 100 to 100. So let's go here. Start scanning. We're going to use that. Validate. So now we have our flaps. Flaps down, flaps up. That's negative 100 to 100. That's your spoiler. So that gives you an idea on that. So we'll do throttle real quick since we're here. So we're going to do throttle 1. Start scanning. Validate. Let's do throttle 2. Start scanning. Validate. So now we have our throttles. Obviously, if I had 4 throttles, we can do 4 throttles. So let's go with, let's say autopilot. So we're going to go, I want my autopilot approach hold. So we'll say I want that one. Let's turn you so you guys can see it. So I'm going to put that on this switch. So let's go up for hold off and down for hold on. So that gives you an idea on how to set this stuff up. We can do our, let's go here, search by name. We're going to go, we'll do our actual flight control, your ailerons. And we'll go left and right. Okay. Validate. And then we'll do elevator. And validate. Go and rudder. And validate. So there you go. Now you have your rudders. And if any of these are wrong, you just click reverse and it will take it the other way. So that is how you set up Microsoft Flight Simulator. So there's your quick start guide. That's how you set up your throttle and your joystick as far as Virpil, and the quickest way to get you up and going. I do have other videos on how to adjust buttons, how to adjust your virtual detents. There's been some changes since that video. There's been a lot of software changes, so I will go in and take a look at that and get it figured out so that I can make some new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, like, it helps the channel out. And once again, thank you to everybody that hung out and was patient during my 2 months off working on this house. Until next time, have a great one.